Breakfast with Cobb Colvin.
Trickstar Radio.
Right, we're inside the building. 33 minutes past 8 here on Trickstar Radio. How are we doing this morning? We've got Oxomo with us. How are you doing, sir?
I'm still here.
Good stuff. That's what I like to say. I'd have been a bit upset if you'd have ended up running away.
I mean,
say.
Sometimes.
Anyway, what we're going to get into next is a big discussion about the EP. So what's the EP called to begin with?
The EP is called The Process.
Yes.
Because it's the process.
How much of a process was it to put together?
It was a process. It was a big old process.
Like when we're looking for obviously like the track listing here. We were talking briefly earlier about like the sort of different styles and stuff that go into it. Like what is the sort of general vibe of the album? Like what would you say the sort of like the footnote of the album is?
I would say it's all kind of old school style hip hop. Like I tried to aim with that with my production, and lyrics wise I also try and go for that kind of stuff. But I think it's like a big old mishmash of relaxing beats and conscious stuff.
And obviously it is all self-produced as well.
It's all self-produced.
Like when you're putting together a track, like an instrumental track for an album, like how much thought goes into that specifically?
Quite a lot. Like with a lot of these tracks, like I knew the track order that they were going in anyway, so I had to make the outros and intros kind of blend into each other.
Nice.
So I kind of designed all that stuff in the first place before writing the lyrics.
Okay.
Basically. So
nice.
Yeah, the instrumentals was all planned out.
All planned out. I like this because I like the fact it's been done with a structure in mind to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to naturally make stuff flow a lot easier and a lot stronger.
I wanted to make something that can be listened to the whole way through as well.
Yeah.
Without gaps. I think like.
I mean, when we're talking like albums and EPs and stuff like this, it usually means there's an extended period of sort of studio time. There's an extended sort of thing. And something I love to do on this show is kind of like dive into like fun studio stories or like fun scenarios. So give me some of like the craziest things that happened during the course of this project.
Okay, when we first started recording it,
I love the fact you've got one ready as well.
I'm way afraid to tell everyone.
We didn't have a very professional setup.
Okay.
So we basically had like a few sheets of soundproofing, and we had a big old piece of cardboard from moving into the flat. So we just stuck all the soundproofing on the cardboard, and we had like Boudica holding it up behind the mic, so we had a kind of dead sound.
What was it whilst you were recording?
Whilst we were recording.
What,
so
she was just standing there?
We've got a big cardboard thing right behind it. Like, it's supposed to be a deflection shield. Obviously, doesn't actually really do the job, but
it sort of deadens the sound a little bit when you. But basically, making what you're recording sound straight. That's so someone was physically there holding it up.
Holding it up behind
someone
the
was
microphone.
Physically holding everything up.
And then about halfway through, we actually bought one and bought a nice mic. So we had to
gave up.
We had to re-record a lot of things because it was
obviously it would sound different.
The quality was.
Yeah. That's the madness. I can't get over the fact that someone was there.
Holding it willingly as well.
Willingly.
I love my job. I love my job.
just holding up this like piece of cardboard behind whilst people are recording.
Yeah.
I'd see it moving.
But that was your girlfriend, wasn't it?
It wasn't very professional. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's why she was doing it.
How is it working on a project like this with a partner?
It was interesting. Definitely interesting. I mean, she had to hear all of my inside thoughts and that.
Yeah.
But
is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like letting that out.
I think it's good. Like it just kind of means we're more open about that kind of stuff because we're both really open in our music anyway. So I think like you kind of have to be.
It makes the song more real though. For me, who's not really musical technical anyway. Yeah. When I hear lyrics that really like, you can tell it means something to the person. It just sounds so much better.
Yeah,
I can imagine it being quite an interesting process as well. Obviously going. There's so many different almost emotions going into it at that point when you are like recording alongside a partner and you're also obviously laying down. But recording is an emotional process to begin with.
Yeah.
If you're doing it properly, I think in my opinion it should be an emotional process. If we're looking through the sort of track listing on this one, what would be your standout?
Well, the track with Derek and Boudica and the track with Verbs, I would say.
They're the two that stand out.
And for live stuff, Changing Course, that's my favourite track.
We were talking earlier briefly about like obviously playing live and doing different live shows and stuff like that. With this one, have you got an idea about how you're going to perform it live? Because have you had a chance to
I've been rehearsing
a
lot, and we've got the set list down, and it sounds awesome. Like the whole way through, I've created like a whole roller coaster with it basically.
So it's like almost like a story built into the live set.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I think the thing that a lot of people almost miss when they're putting EPs together these days, or they're putting like album projects, is an EP is essentially like a 25 minute to half an hour slot. If you do it right, you can get like a half an hour sort of like PA slot out of that, which is like a good length of time for a PA. So when you're putting them together, if you're not putting them together with that sort of mindset of this is how this is going to blend into this in a live scenario, I think you actually lose something. So the fact you've been thinking about that from the beginning makes me want to actually see it perform live.
I'm
where can I see it perform live?
You can come down to the Western on Friday. It's free entry. we're looking like we're over capacity.
Oh wow!
At the moment.
So basically, saying don't come.
Yeah.
So I'm saying
Basically uninvited.
definitely come.
You're going to make it too
come.
busy. And we'll get shut down.
There's no room.
So are you upstairs at the Western? Or are you downstairs?
Upstairs.
Nice. I really like upstairs.
So do I. It's really nice. I went to the Hip Hop and Bevs thing.
Yeah.
Big up those guys as well. They're doing their thing. Like What's doing the open mic for us. All in his SP. So it's all gonna be live beats for the open mic at the end.
Wow.
And obviously all of that lot are supporting. We've got Verbs on my set, and we've got Derek doing his set, and on my set, Budica's playing, Marlon's playing.
It's a good situation for sort of Brighton hip hop then. To an
it's
extent,
awesome
because you have got this like really good array of kind of local. I think primarily everyone's pretty local.
Yeah, everyone's local, apart from Verbs. He's Croydon, but
even with that, it's a train ride. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
So you've got
He's pretty local.
You've got a really good array of kind of like local talent all performing in one place, and kind of showcasing that. I think Brighton's hip hop scene is something that is very very strong. You know,
yeah,
I mean, I think
it's worth showing off as well.
I think when you look at the amount of people that are here, all on sort of like there's sort of different hip hop communities. I'm noticing there's more and more the longer I do this show. There are sort of different communities within Brighton's hip hop scene, but when stuff does come together for shows and stuff like that, you do see how strong stuff is.
Waking up Brighton.
Breakfast with KXVU.